Hello again, and welcome back to the PhatPhish Guitar Studio. I'm Dave and welcome to the Absolute Beginners series of guitar tutorials. You're actually joining part way through the series and I recommend you do these in order, so I'll put a link in the information section down there to part one so you can start and go through these in order. See you back here once you've been through the earlier tutorials. Now, I've done quite a few tutorials in this series so far with the aim of getting you from a standing start as an absolute novice to being able to play the guitar and get stuff that sounds good, sounds musical, and kind of start you on your creative journey. So we've looked at a few things so far. We've learned about how to get the guitar in tune, how to play strings, how to fret notes, playing a few different chords, look at the 12-bar blues progression. Then more recently, looking at starting to play melody lines and playing some riffs, and kind of where we left off the last video or two. We're looking at scales like the minor pentatonic and the minor blues scale, getting you into a scale kind of mindset. And I think last time I sort of set you away with hear the notes of the minor pentatonic and the minor blues scale, and encourage you to go away and experiment, just trying to come up with lead lines and melodies based around the notes of those scales. So I want to come back in to the series looking at those scales, the minor pentatonic and the minor blues, very useful scales, and look at some things that you can perhaps put into your lead playing just to make it a little bit more interesting. We're still going to be playing the same notes, but we're focusing a little bit more on how you play the notes rather than the notes themselves. Okay, so to recap, we're playing the A minor pentatonic, A minor blues scale. So it looks like this. Is it A minor pentatonic, or we add in the note. Gives us the A minor blues scale. So we'll stick with the A minor variation of the scale for now, and talk about some ways that we can kind of make the lead lines that we play just a little bit more interesting. Now, the first technique I want to talk about is one called vibrato. And what you're doing there is you're taking the note, playing it slightly at pitch, then pushing it out of tune slightly and returning it to pitch, and doing that in rapid succession. So if you think about playing a note, say like this A here, 7th fret on the 4th string, if you play that for any length of time, it's going to sound a little bit monotonous. The notes just kind of hang in there. With vibrato, what you're doing is you're actually pushing the note slightly sharp. Now, to do this, we need to think about what we're doing with the thumb. So if you want your thumb wrapped around the top of the neck, so you kind of grip the neck, play the note, and then kind of squeeze, so the note goes slightly sharp and slightly out of pitch, just ever so slightly, and then return it to pitch, and repeat that. This is particularly useful, say if you've played like a lead line and you want to finish on a note and that note might ring out for a little while. Just put a bit of vibrato on there, it lets the note ring out and it's a little bit softer. It might take you a little bit of time to get to grips with that, if you pardon the pun, but it's really about being able to kind of balance the force that you're putting into pushing the string with your fingers, with having your thumb over the top of the neck. Now, the thumb's a whole issue about where you put your thumb when you're playing the guitar, if it's hooked over the top of the neck, if it's down behind the neck. It depends on what you're playing, really. But for doing something like vibrato like this, it pays to have the thumb hooked over the top of the neck. Like I say, you're kind of gripping and squeezing the neck to balance the force in your fingers against your thumb. And you can put some vibrato on, just softens the note off, so there's something to experiment with. So what I'd recommend you do is just try that in isolation, just playing single notes, different positions on the neck, different strings, different frets, and just playing a note with a bit of vibrato. So like I said, the first string at the 5th fret. You're not really bending the string way out of tune, just slightly out and back again. but the way that feels under the fingers when you're doing, say, with the first finger on a high string feels a little bit different how it feels when you're using, say, the ring finger on one of the lower strings. So take a bit of time just to get to grips with the technique and see how it feels. And once you're comfortable with that, you've incorporated it into your daily practice routine, you know, that we talked about in the earlier videos, and you're starting to get more proficient, you can start looking at incorporating vibrato into lead lines. So when you're playing you're playing some sort of run, finishing it off with a little bit of vibrato just softens the whole thing off. So that's one thing you can do just to make your lead lines sound a little bit more interesting.